Yeah,
well?
everyone
Howell.
comments on that. It's the same with Rowell. Howell.
I mean, you're allowed to say whatever you want if you're shoving like traffic cones in it, but I'm just saying you had an extra
Traffic cones.
You know when you say a traffic cone, was it like a UK regulated like motorway traffic cone?
Whoa! Because I had a crash on the M60. Luke. There was no fucking cone. Where was it?
No, it's an actual dildo. It's made from body safe silicone. It's not as big as a normal.
Oh, it is an
traffic
actual traffic
cone.
cone.
It's a dildo traffic cone.
Do you know the
but it
traffic
looks-
cone conspiracy?
No.
So traffic cones, you know, when they're on the motorway but there's no roadworks being done. I think that's because they've got nowhere to store them.
Mate, they've always got a place to store them when I'm around.
In 2021, Netflix filmed a movie that came out in 2022 about a small town that has to evacuate after a train collides with a tanker truck that is stuck on train tracks. The truck just so happens to be full of toxic materials. It explodes, of course, and derails the train, which causes a massive chemical disaster, at which point the entire town has to evacuate. This film takes place in and was shot on location in East Palestine, Ohio. They did this shit on purpose.
Have you heard of Project Blue Beam? It's a well-outlined conspiracy that suggests that the secret government is planning a New Age religion. Through technology and organizations like NASA, they will attempt to fake the second coming of Christ to create a one-world government. The theory suggests that the project would involve a virus outbreak, staged alien invasion, an artificial rapture, and a global-scale holographic projection of religious figures like Jesus, Buddha, and Muhammad. Sounds familiar, isn't it? COVID and shot-down UFO balloons all seem very suspicious. So, did it start, and what is coming next? Have the Jeffrey Epstein unsealed docs been released? A February 2023 report by the UK newspaper Daily Mail has claimed that a batch of soon-to-be unsealed court documents expected to include information pertaining to at least one public figure will be published soon. The Twitter post by Donna Prison1 on February 14, 2023 stated that the Epstein court docs are out, making a hit with the Twitter community. But was the actual doc with names leaked? Unfortunately not. The documents posted on Twitter are not the unsealed documents that have been discussed recently by the press. They are court documents, unsealed in 2019, related to a lawsuit filed in 2015. We still wait, we'll keep you updated.
You need to hear this crazy conspiracy about iPhones. Have you ever thought about why an iPhone has its name? Some people think when Apple says I, it literally means I. iPhones are watching us, listening to us, and seeing everything we're doing. And some people have this link to the Illuminati. Don't believe me? What's Siri spelled backwards?
If you have kids at home, this next segment is for you. This Friday, the newest batch of Disney Channel stars grown in the Disney Genetic Engineering Lab will be unveiled to the public.
Right. Now, Tracy, most of our viewers are already familiar with a lot of the products that have come out of the Disney Lab. Yes, but how exactly do you create a Hilary Duff or a Miley Cyrus from scratch?
Right.
Well, we're going to find out exactly how it's done right now, because joining us live from the Disney Lab is one of their lead geneticists, Dr. Andrew Rourke. Welcome, Dr. Rourke. There's quite an operation you've got going on out there.
Thanks, Jim.
So the stars that we see on TV are actually grown right here?
That's correct. They're grown and developed here. We engineer their brains for advanced singing and dancing capabilities, even posing for photos. By the time they grow to desired size, these child stars are fully ready for the camera or the concert tours or whatever Disney chooses to put them in.
That is simply amazing. Now, how long does it take to actually create a star from scratch?
Well, not very long at all. We use the exact same DNA structure for all of our stars, and then we simply tweak minor details like hair color or skin tone.
Right, yeah, we do have some footage here of some of the well-known creations that have come out of your lab. Let's take a look.
Yes, well, that's model 6831-A, publicly known as Mitchell Musso, standard male base with a type 3 skin pigmentation.
Wow.
And that's model 6831-B. We give him slightly thicker eyebrows and type 5 skin.
Oh, so it's sort of like putting a puzzle together there.
Exactly.
Okay.
What in the... What? Is anybody else's brain doing fucking flips right now? This made my head hurt when I saw it. They putting it right out there to you. Man, who the fuck is real? What do you mean they're just grown in a lab? This is why I try to tell y'all motherfuckers, man. These people, wow, I always knew they were not just random people, chosen off the damn street. That's a crock of shit. There ain't been a fucking casting call for any major fucking production since God knows when. What? These people are fucking made in a lab.
And here we've got some of the images of some of the newest models. We're going to be seeing a lot of these kids in the
It
future.
really looks like you have someone for every kid in America to love it.
Did you hear what they just called them? Some of the models. They don't mean models as in they, pose for the picture. They mean models as in this is like a damn, like when they ask you, what model is your vehicle? Well, this is model such and such. This is model, what he just said, like they got fucking numbers for names and shit because it's not a person. It's not. What in the fuck?
Well, that's the idea, Tracy. Our writers find it very liberating. For example, our new model, Haley, is a singing, dancing, snowboarding, half Japanese, half Indian girl.
Wow.
Now, finding her in reality would be impossible.
Right, but sounds like a surefire hit to me. Oh, now,
You hear what he said? Half Japanese, half Indian girl. Finding her in reality would be impossible. So basically, why you think all these motherfuckers look so goddamn perfect and shit? They're so motherfucking pretty to you. They're so motherfucking, handsome and all that shit. Man, they're made in a fucking lab. This shit is all fake.
now this one's Zac Efron. I've seen him before.
Yes, Zach was actually one of our earliest
My
models.
daughters love him. I mean, he looks so real.
You hear what he said? Zac Efron was one of our earliest models. What? So that tells you about when they started doing this type of shit. Early 2000s.
Actually, I think we could have done a better job with Zach. He could show more human tendencies. If you look closely, you'll notice there's a certain deadness around the eyes.
I do see that, yes.
I'm sorry, it's hard for me to watch because all I see is all my mistakes.
Oh, he seems flawless to me.
Well, he's holding up, but there was a bug in that first batch, and as a result, Zach's skin will soon begin to dissolve.
What the fuck? He said there was a bug. So why do you think they be killing off these celebrities and shit? Because eventually their bodies will deteriorate because they're not fucking real. They got a goddamn shelf life. So they gotta kill off the character.
Oh, poor Zac Efron.
All right, well, it's simply amazing. Dr. Rourke, thank you so much for coming in and spending some of your morning with us. I can't wait to see some of the...
Stars have a 5 to 10 year relevance expectancy. So because they're only gonna be relevant for 5 to 10 years, they don't even bother using real people. Fuck real people. Dude, I'm done. I'm just done. Is anybody else's head hurt over this?
These new creations popping out of the lab.
I'm just lost. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments.
In today's episode of What the Fuck is Going On in the World, China has apparently discovered uncharted land and dinosaurs. Mythical creatures have been spotted in the Philippines and have been causing massive unrest. Part of the sun said, whee, and fizzled off into the polar vortex. Scientists are debating whether the Earth's course slowed down or completely stopped and switched directions. There are massive sinkholes in Turkey, UFO sightings everywhere, crows wild and out, cattle lined up single file for miles, complete lack of coverage on how bad the Ohio derailment actually is, possibility of acid rain, 2 more derailments in Texas and South Carolina, a semi flipped over near Tucson, Arizona, spilling 2,000 pounds of nitric acid and causing a stay-at-home order, green laser beams over Hawaii, Joe Biden kissing Kamala's husband on the lips, Russian ships off the coast of the U.S. Welcome to 2023.
The dead birds in Lexington and the birds hanging upside down are too much for me. Every woman in my family has always taught me to use birds to tell signs of what's going to happen in nature. Neither one of 2 things has happened. 1, the birds have run out of charge and the bourgeoisie doesn't give a shit to recharge them up, so they're just hanging there like bats. Or 2, something actually fucked up is going on either electromagnetically or with the air. A lot of the people I know, their families have a mining background, like coal mining. We could argue the ethics of this later. However, one thing that they used to do was use birds to tell when the air was not safe to breathe. They would take a canary or a